All right, kiddos. I have a story about my favorite things, animals. We all love animals, don't we? This one is called Animals in Winter. And it's written by Henrietta Bancroft and Richard C. Van Gelder. And it's illustrated by Gaetano Di Palma. All right, the pictures are kind of interesting. I take note of them. Most of them are black and white with just a little bit of color. So it's a very interesting story with some cool pictures. I always like to look at the pictures in books and think about, gee, could I do that? See, look at that picture. Could you draw a picture like that? I bet you could. The days grow short, the nights grow long. It is getting colder. Winter is coming. Well, winter is here. See the tree? The tree has no leaves on it. That means it's winter. And look, there's a little bunny. Leaves have fallen from the trees. There are no berries on the bushes. Insects are gone. The grass is dead and brown. Birds and other animals are getting ready for winter. It looks very desolate. Desolate is a word that means bare and barren. Desolate. It's what the world looks like in winter, at least where we are. Do you know what some birds do in the winter? Some of the birds will go south. Do you know where south is? South is down. So if you're in New Jersey, and if you were a bird and you wanted to go south, you would fly down towards Florida because it's warmer in Florida. So the birds like to go there because there might be more things for them to eat because their leaves don't fall off their trees down in Florida. It doesn't get as cold and there's more things for them to eat. So some birds fly south for the winter. Bluebirds and orioles go toward the south. They go where it's warm. They go where it is sunny and where there is food for them to eat. See, the black and white picture with just a little bit of orange. They're going down south where it's a little bit warmer. What do you see? It's almost a bunch of butterflies, right? Many butterflies go south. That is what the monarch butterflies do. They gather in a tree by the hundreds before cold weather comes. They stay in the tree all night. In the morning, they fly away. Do you know what color is a monarch butterfly? Since this book is in black and white, it's not showing, but they're usually orange. And they fly to Mexico. They fly down to where it's warm in Mexico. Ooh, what are these? Can you tell? Do you know what that is? Yes, it's a bat. A B-A-T. It's a mammal. Bat. Bats are mammals. What do they do in the winter? Let's see. Many bats fly south too, but some bats stay in the north all winter. When the weather gets cold, they go into a cave. All right, because you know what bats like to eat? They like to eat insects. And there aren't many insects flying around in the middle of the winter because it's too cold. Oh, look at the bats in the cave. See them? Bats hang upside down by their feet. See, this is their head with their little ears. And they're hanging by their feet from the cave walls. Isn't that funny? There is no wind or ice or snow in the cave. The bats sleep there all winter. They do not eat. They live on fat stored inside them. They do not move. They hardly breathe. They sleep, sleep, sleep. They hibernate. Can you think of another animal that hibernates? There's one that everybody knows that hibernates. A bear. Bears hibernate, but so do bats. Oh, look at this cute little, that's a woodchuck. Bats and woodchucks hibernate. Oh, so woodchucks hibernate too. They do this so that they can live in the winter when they cannot find food. Here is a woodchuck. Maybe you call him a groundhog or a marmot. He gets ready for winter too. There he is, getting ready. When fall comes, he eats and eats and eats and eats. He eats grass, twigs, and leaves. He grows fat. When it gets cold, the woodchuck crawls into his long tunnel and goes to sleep. He hibernates. See, there's this hole, and he'll be under the ground sleeping all winter long. Oh, there he is. See him? There's his tunnel. It's under the ground. It's a little bit warmer under the ground, so that's where he'll stay all winter. Does he sleep for a day? Longer than that. Does he sleep for a week? Longer than that. A month? Even longer. A woodchuck can sleep as long as 4 months. The woodchuck seems hardly alive. He breathes very slowly. His heart beats slowly, slowly, slowly. He sleeps, sleeps, sleeps. Do you know who else is hibernating? Can you guess? She hibernated last winter too. Yes, Freddie. Freddie is sleeping, sleeping, sleeping. She's hibernating again this winter. There's the woodchuck popping out. When winter is over, the woodchuck wakes up. He crawls out of the long tunnel. He's very weak. The woodchuck eats what food he can find. There isn't much, for plants have just started to grow. When you wake up from hibernating, you're very hungry. Some animals do not have to hibernate. They gather food and save it for the winter. That's what the pika does. So this animal looks kind of like a mouse, is called a pika. A pika looks like a chipmunk in some ways, but he's a little bit bigger. He lives in high mountains where winters are long and cold. Pikas eat grass. In summer, they cut more grass than they can eat. They spread the grass on flat stones. The hot sun dries it. See, they dry out the grass. These are some smart animals. Let's see what they do with it. Look! They put it inside their tunnel, it looks like. At the end of summer, a pika may have gathered 50 pounds of grass. That's probably as much as you guys weigh. 50 pounds. That's a lot of grass. And definitely more than Maya weighs. He hides it under rocks. In winter, he eats the dry grass. It keeps him alive. Okay, so he hides it under rocks. And he remembers where he hid it, and then he goes and he eats it in the winter. Wow. Oh, we know who this is. Yep, it's a squirrel. Squirrels gather food too and save it for winter. They dig holes in the ground, and they bury hickory nuts and acorns. When winter comes, they dig them up and eat them. Sometimes squirrels forget where they buried the nuts. Trees may grow from the nuts the squirrels forget. See, if you bury an acorn, an oak tree will grow. So a lot of oak trees have been planted by squirrels who forgot where they planted them and forgot to eat them in the winter, and so a tree will grow from it. Isn't that cool? Oh, look at this cute little cutie. Some animals do not get ready for winter at all. They do not store food. They do not hibernate. They must hunt for food all winter long. There are mice that must hunt all winter for seeds of goldenrod, asters, and other wild plants. Sometimes they eat the farmer's corn, oats, and wheat. And sometimes mice like to try and come in your house and see if they can steal food. I had a mouse come in my house and said, "Get out of my house, mouse. I don't want mice in my house." The deer, see the deer? The deer must dig in the snow for dried leaves, plants, and moss. When the snow is deep, he must eat the twigs, buds, and bark of the trees. See, they're eating the bark of the trees. The bark is the outside covering of a tree. Aw, what do we have here? Look how cute, little bunny. The rabbit must hunt under the snow for bits of grass and plants. When the snow is deep, he too eats buds and bark of bushes so he can stay alive. Doesn't sound like it's fun to be an animal in winter. I'm glad I have a house to stay in. Uh-oh. What do we have there? In the winter, the fox hunts for mice and rabbits. So does the wolf. When the winter is cold and the snow is deep, many animals cannot find food. They get very hungry. See, the fox is chasing the rabbit. And he's going to try and catch him. These are some of the ways of wild animals in winter. Isn't that a cool picture? Oh, it looks like a black paper with lots of white dots on it, and that's the snow coming down. We have the deer over here. There's the fox in the background. And the little tiny mouse. And the rabbit. And the other animals are all hibernating. We don't get to see them. The end. Well, I hope you liked learning a little bit about what animals do in winter. And I hope you feel truly lucky that you are not outside in the cold trying to find food to eat. That your mom and dad can just get you food from the grocery store and got a nice warm house, the roof over your head. It's good to be a human. All right, talk to you later.